What game is this man playing? Why did he climb on the iron bar and slide like that? Oh, it turns out there are monsters on the ground. Yes, I'm trying not to let my feet touch the ground. He was straining, his grimace was trying his last bit of strength with the hope of overcoming death, when life was in need of death. The monster on the ground every time he approached. He saw the car in front of him hoping to get there. He tried his best to jump on the barrel and run fast, but the monster was below. He staggered. Damn it, the animal rammed the oil tank. The man tried to speed up to the car, almost got there, but he fell down. The hungry monster raised its head to the ground. It opened its mouth to swallow the man and quickly dived down to the ground. It turned out that in this remote, desolate place, there once appeared a hungry beast that specialized in eating humans and animals. These monsters have no eyes. They rely on sound to navigate. With a large, ugly and ferocious body, they can even swallow a large fat bull. This worker is maintaining roads and bridges when he is working. The result of the electric drill being dragged along with his body, the worker is attacked by a monster. This place has an oil field with a decent reserve as well. Several workers had to die. The boss was extremely worried through a sex buyer, introducing him to a hunter. His name is thanks to a veteran hunter of his caliber. He has hunted many different beasts. The owner of the oil field pays very well. He said just kill the monster, or capture each one alive. 50,000 to 100,000 USD. The two sides agreed to the contract and then immediately agreed to return to the gypsy to save the villagers and enrich themselves. The next morning, the two drivers arrived at the appointed place. The boss has prepared a full range of weapons to deal with the monsters. The biologist also invented and built for him an underground monster detector with a map guide. Just the monsters close, the ground will shake. The probe will immediately warn with pictures. The masters also create a homemade butter tube attached to the rear of the car to attract and deceive the beast. The next morning, the two men drove around the battlefield to observe and analyze the situation. The butter pipe made a sound that quickly attracted the monsters to rush. And the detector immediately showed that the monster was about 30 or 40 meters away from them. Make people panic, fear, suspense, but thanks to the bravery of an old hunter. He hurriedly took out a remote control car, which was preloaded with explosives. He directed the car to drive the car towards the beast. The monster thought that the delicious bait had crawled underground, swallowed it, and quickly underground, an unexpected ending. A loud bang, the monster turned to ashes. The two brothers even had time to open the umbrella to cover the dirt, and the monster's body was flying everywhere. With this technique, hunting monsters is as easy as eating cake. They are excited, eager to kill monsters. This trip is really worth the money, bro. Only on the first day of their debut, they made a lot of money. Didn't expect it to be so delicious. When the night fell. Descending, the two rest on a rock. The platform placed on the ground is swallowed by the beast, leaving a large hole in the ground. The next morning, the umbrella was blown away by the wind. The guy jumped down to pick it up. At the same time the monster rushed to it, opened its mouth to swallow everything. The hunter ran fast, quickly dodged, and quickly climbed into the car. Escaped the disaster. At this time, the chain tied to the rear of the car was also slowly being dragged away by the voracious monster. Quickly returned to the cockpit, tried his best to control. But this car could not match the monster's strength. He tried his best, but cannot. The monster pulled the chariot of grace to the abyss. The hunter picked up the gun to shoot, but it didn't work. When it was about to fall into the abyss, the monster suddenly changed direction and charged towards the large rock. Fortunately, the car was stuck on the rock. The two thought that a benefactor had saved their life, but looking at the detector, it was showing all the monsters tightening the siege. In this situation, running is the way to go. The two quickly drove away. The number of monsters was too much. He decided to call for more help. Call Mr. Bot. This brother has a whole collection of guns, must be a super player. He collects guns of all kinds, big and small, carries socks, and at the same time does not forget to bring homemade explosives. When he is invited to participate in a campaign that not only does his job well but also earns a lot of money. Take home money, what's more interesting? So Les loaded up the truck with weapons and drove to the location. The three-man alliance campaign divided into two teams began to exterminate the beast. Less action was taken. A loud explosion was heard, a monster was eliminated, money began to be placed in the pocket. Grace also discovered a monster with appeared to be running away. It seemed that this time it wanted to run away. They quickly chased after the beast. It hid behind a natural rock and raised its head. Two suddenly lost balance and lost control of the car and plunged into the hole. A moment of awe. It was strange to see the beast lying still, not attacking and not rushing towards them. Thanks to the scout vehicle, it did not see the monster attacking. He desperately ran out, approached and patted the monster. It still didn't respond. Don't you have a cramp? He looked happy. Thinking this time he got a good deal, quickly contacted the barracks and told them to drive a truck to bring the beast back. Night fell, everyone was resting. When a loud bang, the monster gave off a miserable cry. Everyone ran to light their flashlights. Seeing the scene in front of their eyes was very scary. The hairs on the back of their necks were raised. Its body seemed to have exploded. They guessed something more terrifying anomaly. Immediately something squirming from its stomach came out, followed by resounding screams from afar. Looking at the radio with no signal, the two thought everything was fine. They saw a truck standing motionless in the distance. The two decided to venture there on foot. When approaching the truck, they were startled to find that the front of the vehicle was completely deformed. Become a pile of scrap. The driver is nowhere to be found. Oh my god. On the ground is a pair of bloody hands stuck to the back of the car. Everyone is so scared that they run away clinging to life without forgetting to ask for help. Hope the Hope was able to connect to someone, but the signal tower was also destroyed. Fortunately, there was still a car in the warehouse. Suddenly at this time, the iron on the ground made the sound of a monster coming out of the back of the house. But what age is this monster that he should be afraid of? A monster? The newborn is harmless, but looks just as ferocious as its parents, but who knows that the monster has evolved. Although the body is small, but has martial arts. The attack power is also increasing every time. It also spoke loudly to call for accomplices to come. It attacked the radio person, ready to shoot a gun to explode the monster. But the number of monsters was increasing. He quickly got in the car to escape. The monster was not the same thing. It silently followed the car all the way to the barracks, continuing to attack humans. The beast took a bite out of the researcher's right leg. Kate desperately pulled back but was completely helpless. The employee was then eaten by a hungry monster. Kate was so scared that she peed all over, hid in the corner of the wall. She jumped in the car and started to gnaw the engine of the car. Thanks raised her gun and fired one shot, killing the monster. Currently, cars and signal towers have been destroyed and can no longer be used. People have to close their doors and hide in rooms. At this time Les returned to the barracks. However, on the way back, he was attacked by monsters. The truck was badly damaged. He was no longer recognizable, less and less tragic, but not easily subdued. Admirably, he even captured a monster alive. People put monsters in cages trying to observe and study. He threw a piece of cake into the cage after the monster finished eating. He vomited a baby creature from his mouth. Oh, this beast belongs to asexual reproduction. Are they just half fat and half fat, mistaken for half male and half female, do not need to mate? Still give birth loudly. This creature has no eyes and ears, and it senses heat to recognize and identify its prey. Maybe this is why they destroy signal towers and car engines. While the human body produces heat, of course it becomes the target of the monster's attack. While everyone was bewildered, no one knew. There was a monster clinging under the car to follow him to the barracks. One of them gradually climbed up the door. A monster broke the window glass. The girl screamed in horror, quickly raised her hammer and directly hit the creature's head. Immediately everyone rushed out the door, but there was no way to run. The whole front and back of the house was surrounded by monsters. Everyone could only run back to the small house, but the house was also haunted. Wreckage. Suddenly remembering that there was still a spare car in the distance, not wanting the monsters to find out, everyone used the door as a screen to deceive the monster. Everyone crept moving step by step. When approaching the car, there was already a monster waiting there. Now let's hurry to get a large gun that has been converted into a super sniper rifle. It is powerful. Barrett shoots a shot of exploding monsters. Everyone applauded and cheered, but unexpectedly, the power beyond imagination also damaged the car's gas tank, making it impossible to walk alone. At this time, the monsters that attack them spawn very quickly around the camp full of monsters, and everyone hides in the office. The monster broke through the door and quickly found a set of clothes that used boiling water to heat up and then tied it to a rope and took it away. The monster picks up the signal, detects the heat, then emits a wail, and the whole creature rushes towards it. Everyone took the opportunity to climb onto the drum. Les hurried to jump straight into the head of the bulldozer. Monsters can't see because their eyes are blind, their ears are deaf, they can only stick their tongues out to sniff. Les daggers are raised ready to counterattack at any time. Monsters feel that this place has no tricks. To the oil storage tank. This creature is also very interesting. They know how to play games, build a tree to support it into a tower to explore on high. It looks really cool. They make people jump from one surprise to another. Les suddenly thinking of a way to get up from the bulldozer and run straight to the warehouse to deceive the monsters. They discovered their prey, so they ran all into the warehouse. Les quick went around and closed the door to lock them inside. Inside, everyone cheered and cheered like they were in Vietnam last time in the football match that won against China 3-1. Thinking this trip to the sea is really big, but it's not a joke. The underground monsters are up. Heat. Everyone remembers that there is a lot of food inside. This trip is big. They are about to spawn a series of new creatures. And all the explosives are in the warehouse. The clever guy used a fire extinguisher to lower his body temperature, then went inside. Monsters are naturally spawning. The number of creatures has increased. There are children trying to eat and drink. Since Grace's body temperature had dropped, the monster of course didn't notice his presence. Please carefully climb into the truck, prepare the explosives, preset the detonation time. But every time the white powder on his body disappeared, his body temperature gradually increased. The monster immediately sensed the existence of the prey, attacked together in the direction of Thank, and jumped high to grab the chandelier, at the fateful moment. The teammates quickly removed the water pipe and threw it into the warehouse. Through the window, after a fateful moment no one told anyone to jump into the pit together. A loud explosion tore the whole house and the monster to ashes. After this feat, everyone became rich giants. Thank you and Kate soon returned to live in the same house. The movie called Two Earth Dragon woke up. Here it ends. Thank you, aunt and uncle, brothers and sisters and friends. You guys have watched all of today's video. Thank you very much. Goodbye and see you again. Everyone, remember to subscribe to support the channel, dear.